Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown. This is Friday, June 18th, 2021. I am your host, Bronco Bill. You know, I've got quite a few things to bring to you today. A lot of it, most of it is Denver Broncos stuff, and that's the way it should be this time of the year. But obviously, there's always other topics regarding other players, other teams. So a couple of the topics I'm going to bring out to you right now are Von Miller, Justin Simmons, Sheldon Richardson, Courtland Sutton, Noah Fant. Obviously, it's Bronco topic, it's Bronco breakdown, so we have quite a few Bronco news. We also have some other news with other players, and then we have a sad note. I'm going to go ahead and get to all of that. So stay tuned, guys. Keep watching, and I hope at the end you guys comment and let me know what you think about any of the topics or anything else that's on your mind regarding a topic you like to see or one that was mentioned in this video. All right, let's start out with a non-Bronco topic, and that is Jordan Love. Now, in case you don't know or remember who Jordan Love is, Jordan Love was drafted by the Green Bay Packers last season. And the Green Bay Packers are moving forward from Aaron Rodgers, at least when it comes to Rodgers' holdout. Now, obviously, they're not going to trade Rodgers. They've said that they're not going to trade Rodgers. So therefore, because Rodgers is holding out, they're going full bore and full steam ahead with Jordan Love. Now, they said they're not coddling him. They're not going to hold back on any of the offensive game plan. They may structure it down a little bit, obviously, but they're not going to water it down significantly. They're throwing him basically into the frying pan, and they say that they can't count on Aaron Rodgers being there for preseason or any of the other workouts that they may have. So they're going full speed ahead with Jordan Love as their starting quarterback heading into the 2021 NFL season. That takes me to, let's go to Nick Mullens. Now, Nick Mullens was a former quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles have signed the 26-year-old Nick Mullens to a contract that was not disclosed, whether in length or in monetary disclosure. None of that was revealed. He just joined Jalen Hurts, Joe Flacco in the quarterback room. Now, all indication points to Jalen Hurts being the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. But Joe Flacco and Nick Mullens do have Super Bowl experience. So they're going to be a great asset to Jalen Hurts when it comes to game plan and what to look for in certain situations, and that experience of the pressure that comes with the NFL and that comes with being a quarterback. So Nick Mullens is now off of the 49ers. Now, of course, the 49ers did make a play for Aaron Rodgers, but according to reports across the NFL, the Green Bay Packers said that they are not trading Aaron Rodgers whatsoever. However, if they were to trade Aaron Rodgers, they would not trade him to any team in the NFC. Well, that's obvious because they play those teams, and they don't want to see Aaron Rodgers playing against them. If he goes to an AFC team, Rodgers would only play the Green Bay Packers once every 4 years. And Rodgers is up in years, so they're counting on the fact that they wouldn't have to see him at all. So that's why the 49ers never had a play for Aaron Rodgers. And in fact, at this point in time, nobody does. Because Aaron Rodgers right now is playing golf and he's doing whatever he wants to do. And he's not anywhere near the Green Bay Packers facility. Okay, let's go to Von Miller. Now, Von Miller, speaking of Rodgers, Von Miller opened up about Aaron Rodgers to Vincent, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right, Bonsignore, Vincent Bonsignore of the Vegas Journal. And I quote, this is from Von Miller. "It's crazy to think about, getting an Aaron Rodgers. You put him on any team in the league and he changes that team. Well, unquote, I'm sorry, end quote. That's obvious. Aaron Rodgers is to any team what Peyton Manning was to the Broncos and what Tom Brady is to the Buccaneers. It doesn't matter. There are certain elite guys, certain elite quarterbacks that will go on any team and make that team better. But then again, since Aaron Rodgers isn't going anywhere anytime fast or anytime soon, the Broncos are stuck with Drew Lock. And Von Miller has said before that Drew Lock is our quarterback, and he expects Lock to be the starting quarterback come opening day. Now, we also have Teddy Bridgewater. So Teddy Bridgewater could spell Drew Lock at any point in time during the season, as long as, or I should say, in the event or the instance or situation that Drew Lock is faltering. Obviously, Teddy Bridgewater steps in. But I thought it was fascinating that Von Miller made that statement, because that's an obvious statement. But that tells me that, everybody on the Broncos still has their eyes and ears towards that Aaron Rodgers dial. But because the Packers aren't moving for a trade, and Aaron Rodgers looks like he's holding out for the entire year because he wants to get his way, it's interesting. It's interesting that the Aaron Rodgers pulse is still reverberating throughout the NFL, and especially at Dove Valley in Denver, Colorado. Let's go to Justin Simmons. Now, Justin Simmons, according to Pro Football Focus, has been ranked as the top safety in 2021. Kareem Jackson is also ranked in the top 20, and he's ranked at number 17. Justin Simmons is ranked at number 1. Now, Doug Farr of US Today called Simmons, and I quote, "Great at everything from blowing up run fits to bringing pressure on the blitz and to covering deep coverage." That speaks volumes, guys. I mean, if Simmons is that explosive in the run game and the blitz and the coverage, now you put him alongside the other safety we drafted in. Oh, heaven help me! Don't tell me I forgot. I know you guys are gonna comment and tell me how'd you forget him? Oh yeah, Patrick Surtain. I almost forgot. You put him across the backfield with Patrick Surtain. You've got the defense of the Broncos line and their linebackers. Yeah, this Bronco defense could be the Bronco defense of the no-fly zone version 2. And if Justin Simmons, being the number 1 safety by Pro Football Focus in the entire NFL for 2021, and then you have Kareem Jackson at number 17 and Patrick Surtain across the field, wow, guys, I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to see this defense this season. Again, the only question mark I have is at quarterback, but hopefully that is getting rectified, especially with Teddy Bridgewater there, supplying some veteran experience and maybe pushing Drew Lock a little bit harder to be what he needs to be. Now, let's go to Sheldon Richardson, got the name backwards. Sheldon Richardson has signed with his former team, the Minnesota Vikings, after being released by the Cleveland Browns at the end of last season. Now, Richardson played with the Vikings and was drafted in 2018, and then his last season was with the Browns. Now he goes back to the Minnesota Vikings, and the Vikings already have a very, very solid defensive front, and they have very, very strong middle linebackers. So the Minnesota Vikings are definitely making a push for a deep playoff run, and hopefully for them, as they see it, hopefully a Super Bowl run as well. So Sheldon Richardson goes back to a team he's very familiar with. He joins a lot of key players on that defensive front, and the Minnesota Vikings are definitely going to be a team to be reckoned with in the NFC. Now, with Aaron Rodgers not being on the Packers, that puts the Minnesota Vikings at the forefront of the NFC North, because the Chicago Bears have made a move, obviously, and so have the Detroit Lions. The Bears have Fields as their quarterback now. He's a rookie, But still, we all know what rookies can do. Just look at Herbert with the Chargers. Nobody expected that. So Fields could come on strong for the Bears. And then you also have Jared Goff in Detroit. But the Minnesota Vikings, by cementing their front line with bringing back Sheldon Richardson, along with bringing back most of the players on offense, and you still have their explosive running back. Yes, the Vikings, in my opinion, have definitely moved up to the team to be reckoned with in the NFC North. Okay, now let's go on to Courtland Sutton. Now, Courtland Sutton, according to Vic Fangio, Courtland Sutton, Vic Fangio indicated last Tuesday that he doesn't anticipate Sutton beginning training camp on the PUP list. The PUP list is physically unable to play. And that is because Sutton tore his ACL and MCL last season, but he's healing exceedingly well. And he was running routes in early March. And now he's working even harder into June. And Vic Fangio and the coaching staff and the medical department of the Denver Broncos does not feel that Courtland Sutton will be placed on the PUP list during the preseason. Now that's great news. Great news. When you tear an ACL, I never have. I know a guy who has torn his ACL, a guy I worked with, and it took him literally 6 to 8 months to just get back to moving laterally with any type of non-fear. So I can only imagine tearing an ACL and an MCL that the fear level must drastically go up, especially for an NFL wide receiver, and then getting hit down there by a defensive lineman or a middle linebacker or a safety or corner. That's got to play into his mind as well. But according to Vic Fangio, he's coming along very strong. He's looking solid, and he doesn't expect him to be placed on the physically unable to play list. That's great news for Courtland Sutton. I wish him all the best. The guy's a great athlete. I got to see him in person when the Broncos played the Chargers in Carson, and he was amazing. He was really amazing. That was in 2019. Noah Fant. Now this is a sad news. This is very sad news, and my heart goes out to Noah Fant and his family. Noah Fant's mom passed away unexpectedly to an undisclosed illness. She passed away at the tender age of 53. Noah Fant said, and I quote, "I loved her and we had a really good relationship. It's going to be a little bit different, obviously. I'm good, like I said before, just taking it a day at a time." End quote. Now, Fant has managed to move forward, losing himself in football and his family. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's tough to deal with. But Noah Fant, I believe, has very strong support. And at the funeral, the player personnel in charge of the Broncos gathered players and coaches and support staff, and they all flew to the funeral site, it was arranged that they all get there in support for Noah Fant, and that shows extreme support for one of your teammates. That's commendable. That's something that Noah Fant even said that it touched him deeply. It brought tears to his eyes to know that he had so much support and so much strength that his teammates and coaches and just support staff gave him during this very difficult time. It's never easy losing a loved one at any age. It's never easy under any circumstances, but when it's unexpected at age 53, it's even more difficult. My heart goes out to Noah Fant. I wish him the best. My prayers and thoughts are with him and his family, and I know he'll come through this. It's going to be difficult, but I know he'll come through this. Let's go to Kevin Ware. Now, I just don't understand athletes. I really don't. I know that we hear all of the dirty laundry. We really don't hear, good news that happens off the field or after they retire. They kind of just seem to fade off into the sunset, so to speak. And you never hear really, really good things about players who retire or any of that nature. You always hear the dirty laundry. Well, here's some more dirty laundry. But I have to bring it to you because it's football related and it's news. And here it is. Kevin Ware, a former 49er and Washington football team player, was arrested on June 11th in Houston. Ware, age 40, was arrested for allegedly violating supervisory conditions of his bail from a previous arrest. Meanwhile, Ware's girlfriend, 29-year-old Taylor Pomansky, has been missing for 2 months. Now, in mid-April, Ware and Pomansky got into a violent fight during a party at their house. Afterwards, Pomansky went missing and hasn't been seen since. Are you kidding me? This has to stop, guys. This has to stop. I understand. I know that there's, there's violence. I know that, football's a violent game. I know that there's head injuries that cause this brain disease or disorder or whatever it is that causes them not to think correctly. But people have to control their emotions. They have to control their anger. And if he's already been arrested for, allegedly violating his conditions from a previous arrest, why is he putting himself into more harm and more danger of being arrested, going to prison? And if she's missing, guys, say what you want. I say obviously he knows where she is and what happened. She's been gone 2 months. Nobody's seen her. Nobody knows where she is. Sounds to me like Ware's in a lot of hot water. A lot of hot water. And I hope he's not involved. I really hope he's not involved. But all indication and all points towards the fact that he is. I feel very, very sorry for Taylor Pomansky and her family. I hope she's alive somewhere. I just don't think so. It's just a sad situation, and I don't feel that she's alive. That's my opinion, guys. Don't quote me on saying that that's the fact. I'm saying that's my opinion. That's what I think. All right, let's move on to Madden NFL 22. Now, for those of you who play Madden NFL video game, which I do, you will now see 2 players on the cover this season. They are Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. The curse of Madden was brought up. The curse of Madden was brought up, and that's due to previous players on the cover who have gotten injured or their game has deteriorated that were on the cover of the season that they were either injured or their play deteriorated. Here are those players: Garrison Hurst, Dante Culpepper, Michael Vick, Marshall Faulk, and Donovan McNabb, all of which either were injured or had their gameplay downgraded after they were on the cover of Madden. Now, if you remember, Tom Brady has been on the cover of Madden before, and he didn't necessarily have an injury per se. I don't exactly remember, but it wasn't season-ending or catastrophic. Now, both Brady and Patrick Mahomes are downplaying the curse. They're saying, well, we don't believe in it, blah, blah, blah. We're just excited about being on the cover. It's an honor and this and that. I totally understand that. I get that. But when you look at these premier players like Hurst and Culpepper and Vick and Falk and McNabb, you kind of look at it and go, well, there's quite a few quarterbacks on there that have gotten hurt. So it'll be interesting to see. But I thought I'd throw that out there because it's two high impact players on Madden 22, and it'll be exciting to see what happens throughout the season. I don't wish any ill things to happen to Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes, but it's just interesting that they're both on the cover and they're very, very high impact players for their respective teams. All right, I'm going to end this video with an article and a story about Jearod Bednar. Now, Jearod Bednar is the Avalanche head coach. And we all know what happened to the Colorado Avalanche this past season. So although the Avalanche lost in the second round of playoffs, despite having the best record in the league, Jearod Bednar will return for his sixth season as Colorado's head coach. Joe Sakic, the Avalanche general manager, doesn't make knee-jerk decisions. Thus, he is keeping Bednar to continue the progress of making the Avalanche Stanley Cup champions next year. Now, I have to say one thing, and I really, really firmly appreciate this. I absolutely appreciate the fact that Joe Sakic is not cutting ties with Jearod Bednar. And here's the reason why I say that. Jearod Bednar is the coach. Absolutely, he's a head coach. He's responsible for the play on the ice. He's responsible for getting his players ready. He's responsible for having a game plan and putting out the different lines and maybe mixing up the lines. But the point I'm trying to make, guys, is you don't cut a head coach who guided his team to the best record in the NHL, home ice advantage throughout, the President's Trophy. You don't cut them even though they lost in the second round. There's a lot of factors that go into why the Avalanche didn't advance into round 3. And I'll tell you a few of them right now. The number one reason was injuries. Absolute injuries. We had guys that hadn't played since January or February. We had guys that were on the COVID protocol. Look at the goalie. Grubauer. Grubauer was out for a while, and we didn't have a qualified backup goalie to keep the Avalanche on a winning streak. We had a tired Grubauer in the playoffs. He definitely had to play 2/3 of the season, if not more, because of injuries, because of COVID, because we didn't have a qualified backup. Bednar had to put him in there. You know that Bednar would love to have given him 2 or 3 games rest, but he couldn't because we didn't have a qualified backup. That's not Bednar's fault. That's not Grubauer's fault. That lies strictly at Joe Sakic's feet. And yes, to all credit to Joe Sakic, he did go out and get a couple of backup goalies. But no team was going to give the Avalanche, the best team in the league, a solid backup. That would have guaranteed a Stanley Cup. You think that a team would do that? No. A team is not going to do that and give up their best goalie to an Avalanche team that's fully loaded, and all they really needed was a solid backup goalie. They're not going to do that. So that's not Bednar's fault. And I really can't say it's Joe Sakic's fault. His hands were tied too, because teams were not going to give up a solid backup goalie. And it's not Sakic's fault or Bednar's fault that the virus hit, or that COVID kept people on the sidelines for 14 days, or that we had injuries. Those things happen. Injuries happen in all sports. The virus took another toll, and not having a solid backup goalie was, in my opinion, the reason why the Avalanche did not advance to the 3rd round or even the Stanley Cup round. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please leave your comments. I really appreciate it. I answer every single one of them. And I thank you for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we will talk to you next Friday at the same time. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.